of my friends my age are been married for 10 years. 10 years is kind of like the marker right now where all my friends have been married. And I asked them all the same thing. They all say the same thing. Why are you in it?
Listen, I'm going to try to be nice when I recap this podcast that he did with Lori this week, but it is hard. He is hard to listen to. But here's the recap of Jax on the recent podcast with Lori. So he goes on a rant about how all of the friends that he knows that are married aren't happy, and that he wonders why they're married and that they stay together for the kids and all of this kind of stuff. But he's like, everybody I know is married and nobody's happy. And Lori kind of talks to him about how like some people like stability and dependability and like calmness in their life. And he's like not buying it. He does not believe that that's true. But after ranting and raving about how nobody is happy in their relationships, he talks about all of the things that Brittany used to do for him in the marriage that now that she's gone, he doesn't know how to do. He asks Lori, for instance, how often he should be washing his sheets and whether he should be cleaning his washing machine, like these types of things. And then he says, these are things that guys should know. And it's like, yeah, Jax, guys do know this. You just don't know this because you are a helpless, man-child who has refused in your whole adult life to learn anything new. And he even talks about how he refuses to learn anything new. He talks about how until a few months ago, he used to pay all of his bills like in person. Like I think 2 years ago, he used to go into AT&T and pay his phone bill every month because he didn't trust the online systems. And she's like, it's not that you don't trust them, it's that you don't want to learn anything new. And he's like, no, that's true. Insufferable. He opens the podcast by him and Lori have to say one nice thing about each other or something like that. And he talks about how he's been really impatient lately. That's not the word he uses. That's the word I'm using. And he thinks that, you know what he thinks? This is his new thing, is that people should just like not cut each other off when they're talking. Like, isn't that so annoying? Now that I'm sober, I notice how often people cut each other off. And Lori's like literally laughing in his face. She's like, Jax, you are known for cutting people off. What are you talking about? And he just says, like, okay, but Lori, like, when I come to you and I give you an idea and then you say, okay, where are we going for lunch? Like, I just want you to, like, acknowledge the idea. And, like, he's a 5-year-old that has never grown up. And it's like when mommy doesn't listen to you and you feel dismissed. And I say that in a kind of a mean way, but it's like, this is what therapy is for. He should have gone 40 years ago. When he was a child. I'm pretty sure some stuff happened then. And instead, it's like this little inner boy in him that just like constantly needs attention and validation. It is exhausting. They have a list of words that she's not allowed to use with him. Did you guys know this? A list of words that she's not allowed to use with him because they're triggering. And one of those words is accountability. Okay? He talks about how Brittany wouldn't let him like talk to people at the airport and the ticket counter and stuff. She would make him sit with Cruz because he would make such a scene and be so like lose his temper that it was embarrassing, and she would just like make him sit there. And he talks about how travel days with her were really hard. They weren't hard because of Brittany. Let's just be clear. Just a really funny anecdote is he talked about how he was the lead in a school play and he played like the lead character in Grease, the John Travolta character. And he kept talking about how like, of course he played the John Travolta character. Like he looks like John Travolta, blah, 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 blah. But then when like Lori asked him more questions about it, it turned out that not only was it like not a play, it was just like a drama class thing. They didn't even have an audience, but also he didn't memorize his lines. So he was the only person in the play that had to like read off of the paper because he didn't memorize his lines. And that is just so annoying to me. Just thinking back to like even little Jax, like young Jax, did not follow any of the rules. He didn't give one single shit about what people wanted, expected out of him, what the like norms are. He doesn't care. And that is why, and I've talked about this on my other TikTok, like I think he has antisocial personality disorder. Like genuinely, I think that he doesn't know a rule if it hits him in the face. She asks him if he's ever lied to a therapist, which like obviously he has, but he claims that it's mostly lies of omission and that he used to not tell the full truth about the substance use and the sex addiction, evidently. She asks him, what's a green flag? Like, what are green flags to you? And he was like, what is that? Like the opposite of a red flag? And she goes, yes. And he's like, oh, okay, well then you and my manager are green flags. And like this other person I know is a green flag. And Brittany used to be a green flag. And he's just like naming people that he kind of likes and calling them green flags. It's not really how that works. I love that he like doesn't understand the concept of a green flag. He then alludes that something is coming. Jax has something in the works. Now that he is off of our screens, he has hit the ground running with something else. And he says that he's thankful and really excited about his future and what is to come. And he's excited to tell us about it and how he has turned these negatives into positives. And I dread that. And then the last thing that he talked about was if he would win the lottery, what would he do with that money? $100 million. And you guys are going to die when you hear what he says. He says that he would help all of his friends pay their bills. And Lori immediately is like, no, you wouldn't. And he's like, no, you're right, I wouldn't.